welcome back. So I'm sitting here trying to film for my ASMR channel. If you didn't know that exists, it's linked below. But as you might be able to hear, there is a crazy windstorm happening outside, and also it appears that someone is doing construction nearby in this windstorm. So needless to say, the audio on ASMR is not going to happen. So I'm going to just be hanging out for a little bit, waiting until I can do that. In the meantime, if you want to hang out with me and read some AITAs, that's what I'm going to be doing. So the first one I want to read here. AITA for commenting on my partner's lack of a hairline when he keeps making comments about my weight. Now, I know you're sitting here looking at a fat girl. You might think that my instant response would be to be on, I'm assuming the partner is a he and the commenter, and the poster is a she, right? You might think I'm on her side about the weight. My initial thoughts are that those two things are not equal. To comment about someone's hairline is something that they cannot control for the most part. To comment on someone's weight is something that is for most people typically within their control, and it's also something that it can have an importance. Now I understand some people put too much importance on it, but having a partner who is able to maintain health for themselves, meet goals, and stay within healthy boundaries for themselves, that is important in a relationship. So, I don't know. Let's read it, but that's my first thoughts. We had a daughter last year, and I've put on about 30 pounds. Okay. As I said, it was my initial thoughts before I read anything. Okay, hold on. Let's just read the freaking story, because that first sentence was a whole bomb to my whole little thing I just said. I had a daughter last year, and I've put on about 30 pounds. Now, even though I've gained weight, I don't think I'm fat. My legs have just gotten thicker. Anyway, he keeps making comments saying that I haven't stopped eating since I got pregnant. Well, that's definitely not the way to comment it, obviously. If you're going to say something about your weight to your partner, it's not, God, you don't ever stop eating, do you? Yesterday I was preparing a snack for our daughter when he said, "Why don't you move out of the way? You don't see you're big." He tried to play it off and said he was just talking about my butt. It really hurt my feelings, so I said, "At least a fat person can lose weight, but your hair is never going to grow back." Okay. For context, he's 27, but the front of his hairline in the middle is thinned out a lot. He's very self-conscious about it, to the point that he won't leave the house without a hat, or he'll turn around if he realizes that he forgot to take it with him. He's been angry at me since I made the comment, but I feel like if he keeps talking about my weight, then I can talk about his hairline. So, AITA. Edit. I see a lot of people in the comments asking if I gained the weight after the pregnancy. It was during the pregnancy. People are also saying I can control my weight and should be going to the gym. I do work out when I have the time. Finding time to go to the gym is very different for a father than it is for a mother. Yes, I know 2 wrongs don't make a right. When I calmed down, I realized I should have handled it a better way. Thanks for the feedback. So, I mean, she's kind of come to, I guess, it looks like the same conclusion that I am kind of drawing, where it's like, he's wrong. Absolutely. You don't make comments like, you're never going to stop eating. God, you're big. You know, if you need to address an actual problem of your partner, having gained weight, which I'll say 30 pounds after a pregnancy is not exactly what I would, in my personal opinion, consider problematic. I need to speak to my partner about a serious problem type of weight. You know what I mean? It's like if you're obese or something, you know what I mean? That's very different, but it's like, she's a new mother who gained a bit of weight. You know what I mean? It's not like she's completely gone off the rails. She's gaining and never has no control. You know what I mean? It's like she gained a little bit after a pregnancy, and you're going to start making nasty comments like, God, you're big. You never stop eating. I can absolutely understand why she lost her temper and said something. And she straight up admits, he hurt my feelings, so I lost my temper and I said something mean. Which, yeah, but admittedly, I don't know that I feel like you're the asshole. I'm so, I kind of, as I said, it was a pre-thoughts. I do think he's the asshole. Admittedly, I thought that it was going to be a female being too picky or, too touchy about the subject of weight. But it's if he's saying things, now again, maybe she's sort of paraphrasing, the way that he's saying things, but it's like, even if you're paraphrasing, that's like, you'd have to be like just full blown like twisting it to say something he didn't. It's like the way that he's saying things is like so awful that it's like, even if she's paraphrasing, it still had to be pretty bad the way he said it. You know what I mean? Uh, not the asshole at all. Not the asshole at all. Of course, you should have, like, of course, in the perfect world, you'd keep your temper and you wouldn't have stooped down and said, because, yeah, like, he can't, that is mean to say, he can't control his hairline, but, girl, it just, no. The comments, everyone kind of sucks. It's like, why are you just both being so mean to each other? That's kind of also, the thing, right? Don't keep yourself in an environment where someone's always nasty to you, and then it sparks you to be nasty to them back, and now you're both just like being nasty. It's like, if someone's being nasty to you to the point where it's pushing you to be uncharacteristic and say shit like that because you're so upset, maybe move out. I don't know. But again, it's like brand new baby. I know it's so complex. When I'm not saying move out. I'm just like off the tip of tongue, off the top of my head, off the cuff. What's the saying when you're like not thinking before you speak, you're just kind of speaking as thoughts come. I'm not saying leave it, but it's just like, he's being an asshole. Pretty much everyone is not the asshole, or a few people are like, both of y'all are just kind of crappy to each other. This one is, why it's controversial is beyond me, but this subject tends to be very controversial nowadays. AITA for telling my cousin to control his kids or leave. I am typically on the side of parents nowadays, and I'm not a parent. I will say that right off. Again, I'm just me speaking off the top of my, whatever the heck that saying was. I am typically in the camp that parents nowadays are letting their kids run way too crazy. Everybody's too worried about feelings and not worried enough about logic and reasoning and problem solving and like being good, efficient people. And I think that generally when a kid's going crazy, it's the parents' fault. So my 30 female cousin, who we'll call Jay, came over to visit my family yesterday. He came over with his wife, Mal, and their 2 kids, 8 and 6, female and male, and stayed for lunch. I don't really know the kids, but I didn't think much of it. I was heading out to the gym, but I ensured to close my bedroom doors. I work from home, and my workstation, a laptop and 2 screens is set up in there. I also have a PS5 and books, and I treasure it in that room. I left the switch to the TV room and docked it for the kids before I left. Okay? Preparedness. I like it. Fast forward, I get home, and when I go to my room, I see the doors open. I enter to see the K and the L switched. My laptop is on. PlayStation's all my books are pulled off the shelf, thrown. My Harry Potter and everything's out of the cases. I immediately go outside and tell my mom what's going on. She was shocked and tells me to set the kids up to play in the TV room and that Em was checking on them all the time. I asked Em, and she said that the kids wanted to play in that room and she didn't think I would mind. I'm forming some pretty heavy opinions already. Why would she go out of the way of closing it if she wouldn't mind? This is where I may be the a-hole. I told my cousin that my laptop isn't a toy, and so my work equipment, my mom bought me those books collection. They were really expensive, and now they are ruined. He tells me that they're just kids. He told me if I can't control kids and let them act like barnyard animals, then they should leave. He ended up leaving, and my dad told me I was completely out of line and that I should have more respect. My mom agreed with me and apologized, saying that she told them not to go into mine and my brother's room. My cousin texted me saying I was completely rude and he cannot believe I disrespected him and that I'm being way too childish over books and a game and that I don't get it because I don't want kids. I told him that after meeting they became solid birth control for me. Okay. I maybe I'm a little biased on this one, but I am 100% with the poster of this. Especially, especially if you're in someone's home. It doesn't matter if you're out in public or in keep your kids under control. I remember getting incredibly upset with my sister because I had my animals locked away, my dogs locked away in their kennel when I was out, safe the way they're supposed to be, right? I didn't even know that my sister was going to be coming around to the house. She kind of comes and goes on whims and stuff a lot of the time. So I didn't even know anybody was expected to be in the house at the time, right? Which I will kind of concede, it's not my home, it's my mom's home. So me and my sister are kind of free to come and go. I'm not saying that her coming and going is this problem. I'm just saying, didn't know she was even planning to come. Basically, I get home and there is cat food from the other room, which is why my dogs are kenneled, so that, they don't eat all the cat things that are on the other side of the house, right? There's cat food and handfuls of cat litter, like, obviously kind of dropped through all of the bars of my kennels, right? And now there's food like and now the food inside was clearly all eaten up, but like there's remnants all over the outside of the cage that they just couldn't eat. So my dogs ate a bunch of cat food and cat feces and cat litter pellets and stuff. It's like that the kids were basically seemingly just were feeding them. Obviously these are like small children, like not able to necessarily explain themselves what they were doing, kind of aged children. So it's like nobody even really knows what they were doing because she was in the shower, she tells me. Ugh. Now, we won't go into my family or my sister's parenting very much, but all of that kind of aside to say that it's like the way that this poster is acting is the same way that she was acting to me. It was just like, no big deal, dude. The dogs are fine. And it's like, sure, like, luckily they're fine this time. It's like, I don't know. And it just, like, was the disrespect of, like, disrespecting somebody and somebody's property. And in this case, someone's, like, alive property. But, either way, it's just, like, disrespecting other people's spaces. The like, safety that people feel within their homes is really, really wrong. And I absolutely do not think this person is a-hole at all. And I'm gonna scroll down, and if I see people saying that she's the a-hole, my head's gonna explode, because this one is really, really obvious. It's like she went all out of her way to make that stuff safe and tucked away and still be able to share her home with these children. And they just took it like so far that even after all of her pre-preparedness, she still wasn't able to successfully share her home with these children because of the children, because of the parents of the children. That's crazy. I told him after meeting his kids, they became solid birth control for me. Ooh, solid burn. NTA, the wife doesn't get to decide what their kids can and can't do in someone else's home. That's rude behavior. Glad your mom is upholding your actions. Your dad's an idiot. I could have written that sentence myself. I agree completely. What kind of animals tear books off of shelves in toilet at 6 or 8? These kids are allowed to run wild. That's what I'm saying. It's like, also at 6 and 8, these are not even like little. In my story, these kids were like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old, like not of intelligence to understand that you shouldn't be doing whatever you're doing with the dog, right? It's like, these are 6 and 8 year olds. Like, that's kind of, I understand. Maybe kids today don't, maybe 6 and 8 year olds don't understand that, but they should. AITA for accepting the prize money for winning a game that I didn't know I was playing. So I, 21 female, went to my granddad, 80 male house last week, and he handed me a jar full of cash with my name on it. He told me to count it, and it came to $3,200. I asked him what it was for, and he explained the rules of the game he'd been playing with the whole family. From the 1st of December 2023 to the 31st December 2023, every time a member of the family visited him, he put $100 in their jar for every hour they spent with him. At the end of the month, the person who spent the most time with him would receive all the money in their jar, and the others would get nothing. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm processing. That sounds really weird. But also, it's like, I'm not really gonna judge an old man just like who's desperately trying for attention and like having some companionship, but also like, why is your grandpa in the position where he has to like literally trick and all this to get, or I guess he doesn't trick, I don't know what the heck I'm saying. He doesn't trick him to come over because $3,200 is a lot of money. Let me read on. Sometimes my brain goes off thought before we even get on. I won his game by 600, so 6 hours more than the person who came in second. At first, I didn't want to accept the money, only because I didn't think it was right to play games with people without them knowing, especially not your family. But after a while, he convinced me to take my prize money because I earned it. When I got home, I told my parents about the money, explained the game to them. I told my mom where she came on the scoreboard, and she was understandably upset with her father for making us unknowingly compete with each other. Then she told the rest of the family via a group chat. So now pretty much my whole family is mad at my granddad for doing this, but also me for accepting the money. He is an old man and he is not exactly a millionaire, so they think that I should have refused the money and confronted him for what he did. I think that if he's willing to play this game, then he obviously has no problem with giving money away, and he did insist on me taking it. Also, he's always been a weird guy, so although I don't agree with what he did, I'm not too surprised, so I don't think I should have had started an argument with him about it. Yeah, not the asshole. That's kind of a weird thing for a grandpa to do. I don't, I'm like processing. I'm like trying fucking monkey with a thing up here. NTA, NTA, NTA. Yeah, everybody pretty much agrees. Like NTA. For one, if someone has like gone out of their way to, even if you don't necessarily get it, or I think personally, it's like, I think that game's weird. But it's like if he did the game and like wanted to give something away, it's like when you go to give somebody something and they're like flat out rejecting it, like that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? When you give somebody something, you really want them to like accept it graciously and not be like, oh no 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 too much. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it would have been right for her to, or yeah, her to start like an actual insistent fight. Like, no, I'm not gonna take this from you when he's like insisting, like take it. Um, you know what I mean? It's like this isn't a case of like dementia or something. They're just saying he's old and not rich. But it's like if you're gonna give a gift to someone, you're gonna give a gift to someone. Like don't, as the gift receiver, don't necessarily start a fight about it. um, but that's a weird game. I can understand everybody's feelings being hurt when they like didn't score it very well, but that's definitely not on the poster or the person who like won the game because they none of them knew they were playing. Um, that's a really weird one, but I pretty much agree with everybody in the comments. NTA. You know, today I think all three of these I've agreed with the comments. I find that a lot of the time I don't end up agreeing with the consensus, but ooh, this one was only posted 3 hours ago. AITA for only inviting my skinny friends to do a horseback riding event. Okay. I'll give some initial thoughts right off the bat is no. I don't think so. When you think of the activity that is literally sitting your entire body weight on a horse's back, frankly, I don't think she's the a-hole because she's trying to think logically about everything and be like, yeah, people that are too overweight shouldn't put all of their weight on the back of a horse. Like, and I'll kind of aside slightly that even people of normal weight, when you're doing, I don't know what kind of horseback riding event, but those horses that are rode like constantly at these sort of like touristy, like, you know, horseback riding type, you know, people just come in all day, every day type of things. These horses end up with extreme serious back injuries. And it's actually a lot worse than one might think, even if people of normal weight are constantly putting their weight on the horse's back. So people who are overweight should be especially like take a pause, think about how much a horse's back can actually, like, I know they could take a lot, but like we're talking hundreds of pounds for some people, especially nowadays, you know what I mean? So it's, I don't know, kind of depends on what the event is for. It's like if you have, I don't know, maybe you should have just picked a different event if not all of your friends could have participated. But then again, it's like if this is something you've always loved and really wanted to do and like kind of put off because of some of your fat friends or something, I don't know. Let's read. I need more opinions on this. I've always wanted to go horseback riding, and I found a ranch that offers a package where you go every Saturday for 5 weeks to learn. Okay, you will start at the very basics, and the last Saturday you go on a day trip. I wanted to do this since I heard good things about it, and it seems really fun. I was looking at the program, and the website made it very clear you have to be less than 225 pounds in order to join. Rules are rules. You know, it's like I don't know, girl. She's not even the one determining who's too fat and who's too skinny of her own opinion. It's literally listed on the website's rules. It had a very long paragraph about the horse's safety and that, a horse can only carry so much weight plus the equipment. You know what I mean? I have a friend group of 7 people. 3 of those people are overweight. They are very open about their weight, and I know they are all over 225. I knew the program wouldn't allow it, so I asked my other 5 friends if they were interested. 4 of them decided to join. I was asked today by one of the friends why she wasn't invited. I told her she didn't qualify for the program. She asked what I meant, and I told her the program wouldn't allow her to ride one of their horses. She kept pushing, so I told her the horses apparently can't handle her weight. She got very upset and called me a bad word. The 2 other friends are on my bad word and are pissed off that I basically called them fat. I sent them the program and the info, but that didn't help. Not the asshole, not the asshole. NTA, caps NTA, caps NTA. Are you kidding? Like, people, this is why on the first one, I thought she was going to be being oversensitive about her weight. And here's a story that does kind of, it's like, this is so, people are way too oversensitive about their weight nowadays. It's, for one, even if the friend had been using her own personal judgment and opinion and been like, girl, like, over 200 and something pounds is just too much weight to put on a horse's back, so she didn't invite her friends because of her own personal, I'd still be not the asshole pretty vehemently. But, like, there's literally no question here at all. It's the website's, it's the program's rules. What is the girl supposed to do? Again, just cancel the entire thing because you have some fat friends? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. As my friends, if there's something that I can't do because of my weight, I would I will not allow my friends to not go because of me. Absolutely not. Like, I make bad eating choices and that affects my life. And admittedly, it does still affect everybody's around me's life too, but I try to minimize that as much as possible. If anybody wants to go on like a hike that I know my fat ass can't go on, love that for you. Have a lovely day. I'm so glad you wanted to go do something because I'm so busy today. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, don't let my bad choices affect anybody else as much as I can, you know? And these girls are just being way too sensitive about it. Again, and I'm going to scroll down and I better see NTA. This is a common piece of bad news in the equestrian community. It's always an awkward conversation to have. But the fact of the matter is the rule exists for the horse's safety and will always be a priority over someone being upset. Again, we're talking logical feelings. Yeah. Horses run, jump, climb, follow commands, adjust their balance. They can't do that with 100 pounds plus a human on their spine. Not the asshole, not the asshole. Good, okay. I'm not body shaming at all. I'm rolling closer to 200 pounds, but damn, a horse is a living creature who gives 2 F's about your weight. Okay, so it was a weird wording, but like even the other fat people are like, dude, like don't put your too fat self on a horse. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's, don't treat horses like that. And I'm so glad to see, I don't see literally even one person disagree. It's like, everybody's like, not NTA. And I know these girls are really upset. Their feelings are really hurt. And I know there's a couple of them kind of ganging up on this one girl. So it's like, I know you're going to start to doubt yourself, but it's like, that poster does not need to doubt themselves for literally 1 second at all, because it's not only is it logic and reasoning, but it's the rule set by the company who's going to allow you to come or not anyways. Simple as that. Well, it looks like they might have quieted down outside, hopefully. I'm going to try to go get a little bit of work done. Thank you for joining me, though. That was fun. We got some interesting things. I actually ended up agreeing with every single one of them. Cool. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe while you're hanging out down there. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.